Hey there, it's Sherry Dion with the Bulimia Freedom Project, and this is video number 5 of my video series, The Basics of EFT Tapping. In this video, you're going to learn about the importance of creating a setup statement. The setup statement is a process we use to start each round of tapping. It systematically sets up the problem you want to work on. Dr. Dawson Church, who is a renowned practitioner of EFT and the founder of EFTuniverse.com, gives a great visual description of how the setup statement works. He says, think of the setup statement as arranging dominoes in a line in the game of creating a chain reaction. Before you start the game, you have to set the dominoes up. The object of the game is to knock them down, just the way EFT expects to knock down your stress level or SUD level, which we just talked about in the last video. But to start with, you need to set the pieces of the problem up, and that's what we do with the setup statement. By designing a simple phrase and saying it while continuously tapping the karate chop point, you let your system know what it is you're trying to address. You also address possible subconscious beliefs or blocks that may be getting in the way of you resolving this issue. Many people have subconscious beliefs that they're not good enough, or they're not worthy of being healthy, or getting over their eating disorder, or being happy, or resolving whatever issue it is they're trying to resolve. Many of us have self-acceptance challenges. The setup statement speaks directly to the self-acceptance issue, and it helps us to start changing that negative belief. When you tap while stating a self-accepting phrase, you're retraining the brain to the positive. So when designing the setup statement, there are two goals you want to achieve. Number one is you want to acknowledge the problem that you're dealing with. And number two is you want to accept yourself in spite of the problem. So here are a few examples of setup statements. Even though I have all of this anxiety around food right now, I deeply and completely accept myself. Even though I'm totally stressed out right now, I deeply and completely accept myself. Even though I feel like I'm never good enough, I deeply and completely accept myself. Even though I'm afraid to let go of my eating disorder, I deeply and completely accept myself. So once you've crafted your setup statement, you're going to repeat it 3 times while continuously tapping on the karate chop point. So even though I have all of this anxiety around food right now, I deeply and completely accept myself. Even though I have all of this anxiety around food right now, I deeply and completely accept myself. Even though I have all of this anxiety around food right now, I deeply and completely accept myself. Now, I've found that when I'm doing an EFT tapping session with somebody, more times than not, that person feels uncomfortable doing the setup statement. It feels awkward to say, I deeply and completely accept myself, or even more awkward, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. Most of the time, it's the complete opposite of how they feel about themselves. And trust me, I can relate. The first time I did it, it felt really weird to me. But I've since learned the incredible power of accepting myself. Accepting ourselves releases us from the patterns of negativity and gives us the incredible freedom to choose a more empowering thought. Again and again, I've seen the profound impact of self-acceptance. It's the first step to true transformation. When we truly embrace self-acceptance, that's when true healing can finally begin. Now, a very important note here about tapping. The languages that we use in tapping always aim at the negative. This is essential because it's the negative that creates the energy disruptions in our bodies that tapping clears and thus brings peace to the system. By contrast, conventional methods and popular self-help books stress positive thinking and preach avoiding the negative. This sounds good, but for our purposes, it doesn't work. It does little more than to cover over the negative with pleasant sounding words. Tapping, on the other hand, needs to aim at the negative so that it can be neutralized. That's the whole point of this process, is to dissolve and neutralize the negative emotions and to allow our natural positive emotions to bubble to the top. And that's how the setup statement works. In the next video, I'm going to talk about the reminder phrase and how that's used in EFT. I'll see you in video number 6.